Hi guys, this is Stormouse03. Welcome to my Dishonored 2 walkthrough for the achievements or trophies Shadow, Clean Hands, and Flesh and Steel. This is Chapter 4, Mission 4. So this chapter is long, so strap in and be prepared for quite the ride here. This is one of the most difficult chapters in the game, I believe. The Clockwork Mansion, which is a turd, but getting there is also kind of unpleasant. There are lots of highly aware guards patrolling around in this first area that you're going to come to. First of all, I'm scooping up all of the little money items at the beginning here while I don't have to worry about being seen. And then we're going to move up to this gate. And you just want to kind of peek around and make sure that the guys who are patrolling on the left are turned around. And then we're going to head on through the gate, close it back so that they don't get suspicious, and head on around to the right. You might get a couple of little alerts or where they start to kind of see you as you move around this way. You just want to sort of peek around, wait until the guys are moving, sort of looking away from you. The one guard who's in the little tower thing will probably start to get alerted, but he shouldn't, as long as you just keep moving, he shouldn't get totally alerted as you take that path. And then we're going to come down here to the black market. And what we're wanting from the black market is a rewire tool. And so this is why we were collecting some of the money stuff from the beginning, is because we want to buy this rewire tool. I also want to get the upgrade that we picked up in Chapter 3 to have the combat sleep dart that knocks people out instantaneously. As you talk to this shopkeeper, though, before she will sell you anything, she tells you, wait, you're going to have to come back. Paolo's coming. And so you just want to go hide under this little table and wait. And we have a long little time to wait here, guys. So I will use this time to talk a little bit about this level. It's quite the journey, and there's likely some things that are going to be frustrating for you. The beginning here was a little bit frustrating for me. The guards kept doing some weird things. I tried a couple of different paths to show you, and I think I picked out probably the most reliable one, but it is going to be tight as far as timing, and you may need to reload your save a couple of times because sometimes the guards just do weird things. There was a point where one of the guards got stuck and didn't move in the path that he was supposed to move in, and so I had to reload. So just be aware of that. Make some safety saves. Keep a few different save slots. This level is tricky, and so you just want to make sure that you're making a couple of different save slots as you go through and switching throughout them and just checking at each save point, or checking as you save or before you save each time, that you have not been spotted and that no one has been killed. So we're still waiting for Paolo to get done. You don't want to come out from underneath this table until he's gone through his whole spiel talking, and it's not a cutscene. You can't skip it. So you just kind of have to sit here and wait. But he will move eventually, and you just want to make sure that both he and both of his goons are gone before you come out from underneath your little hiding spot. So he is moving now. Thank goodness. And then you want to give it a second, because they do loiter a little bit, and then peek out, make sure that they're all three gone through the door, and you can safely go back up here and talk to shopkeeper lady. And so the first thing we're going to do is buy this combat sleep dart upgrade. It's awesome. It makes it so that your sleep dart knocks someone out instantaneously instead of taking a couple of seconds to take effect. So that's the only upgrade that we're going to be buying. Remember, you can buy some of the bone charm upgrades if you want to. But the more important thing that you want to do is buy this rewire tool right here. And it costs 200. So that's why we were picking up some things. This, the key down there costs 250. I went ahead and bought that because I was like, oh, I have the money. I'm not going to be buying any more upgrades. So I might as well get some of the loot from that door and show you that. It's definitely not necessary though. You don't have to do that, guys. If you don't have enough money for that key, or you don't want to buy the key, then don't. But if you are going to be doing a few more upgrades to like your bone charms or whatnot, then feel free to buy that key there. That will be well worth the investment because you'll see the loot that's in there when we get there. So we're going to come around this way, and how that guy kind of saw me, I don't know. But we're going to sort of hide over on this side of the guard post. We're going to wait for that guy to turn around, and then we're going to head over to the left. And as I said, I tried a couple of different ways in this area. This was the most reliable one. I tried going over to the left. It worked kind of, but it just wasn't consistent enough for me to want to put it in the guide. So I reworked my strategy to go over here. And yay for me that I did that, because now I also get to show you where to pick up a little bit of extra loot, because we're over here, so why not? You just walk up, go into this first room here, and there's going to be a safe. Well, there's going to be some bath salts there, first of all. That's super important because everybody likes to be clean. And also because they give you money. So there's a code here on the chalkboard. One of the numbers will be missing, so you just want to put in the two numbers that you saw and then keep rotating the third number until you get the correct code. And then grab the monies from in here. So that's a little aside. Again, you don't have to do this, because if you've already gotten your crossbow upgrades, the ones that I've shown you, then you don't necessarily need to have more money. But I still collected a few things because I wasn't 100% sure whether I was going to need to maybe buy another rewire tool, or if you would want to buy some more sleep darts or something like that. So it's always good to have a little bit of extra cash if you need it. So I picked up this glass. I don't end up tossing it. I picked it up just in case I needed to use it to get around this corner here, but I ended up not needing it. So you just want to kind of make sure that everybody's walking away. So there's a guard that patrols up here that will walk away. And then there's a guard, and see, he's coming back. So I'm like, oh no, gotta get back. So there's a guard that's on the same level that you are, and then there's a guard that is on the level below you, like down the stairs a little bit, and both of those guys walk this way, and they can both see you if you hang out too close to the edge here. So you just want to be careful. That guy kind of saw me, so I came back here and hid under this table for a second. If this happens to you, don't worry if they kind of get alerted, as long as it doesn't turn red. And so now he's walking away. This takes a second to set up because their patterns are just, they're not always in sync where they're walking away from you at the right time. So that the guy on your right has now walked away, and now I'm just waiting for this guy in front of me to walk away, and I'm gonna go forward. And so you're wanting them to kind of be synced up like that If they're not, then it can become problematic. But that's what you're trying to do. You go there, you quickly rewire this, and then you move in here. And you want to be careful that nobody sees you and comes to investigate the wall of light, because it will now kill them if they walk into it. So just be careful with that. Make a safety save before you do that. You may need to kind of alert the one guy so that the two of them are on the same pattern, but you shouldn't need to do that. When I did it before, I didn't alert the guy. So you shouldn't need to do that, but if you do need to get him alerted, kind of, and then move away, let him investigate, and then they'll sync up. So you saw how much stuff was in that room, so definitely worth buying the key. You definitely made your money back. And now I'm just coming over here to get out of the line of sight of this one guy who's patrolling out there. And then I'm going to take out the whale oil for the wall of light. Both to make sure that nobody accidentally walks into it and kills themselves, and to make it easier for me to get out of here when we come back through at the end. So after that guy walks away, I'm taking out the whale oil canister. And then I'm going to move up these stairs. And so you want to be sort of quick coming up the stairs, because you don't want to hide. I was trying to hide up there. I was seeing if you could. You can't. So I'm going to hide on top of this shelf right here. And wait for that to park and these two dudes to get out. And then I am going to run along behind him and hop in the carriage. Those two guys should not be there when you get back, so you don't have to worry about them. You don't have to knock them out or anything. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. You can just kind of stealth behind the one guy and hit the carriage. And that is actually, that section I found kind of tricky, just because of the two guards patrolling outside of the wall of light and having to get to the spot where you rewire it. Just trying to get through that without getting spotted. And then the one guy, as I said, his pattern got stuck. So he just stopped moving, just standing right in front of the wall of light. And I'm like, well, this is bad. So I had to reload the save. So make sure that you're making some saves that you can reload if stuff like that gets messed up for you. But we are in the second section now. This section is much easier because all we need to do is get a code for the carriage. So we're going to make sure that the guys are not looking at us. Well, the one guy's sitting at his desk and he's always going to be looking forward and kind of start to spot you. But make sure the other guy's turned around. And then we're going to come up here to the top floor. We're going to grab that blueprint for no reason. And we are going to... Well, we didn't really need to pickpocket that guy, but I did anyway. The paper on the desk is the thing that you want. It's got the code for the carriage. So you can reprogram the carriage to take you straight to the Clockwork Mansion, which is what we want. Gonna make sure to keep closing doors so that it's like we were never here. And the guy wakes up and is like, where's my money and my pistol and my key? Gerald, did you take it? So head back out, shut the door behind you, and go and put that code into this little contraption right here. And then you can head on to the Clockwork Mansion itself. And get ready to have some fun and make some saves. Because you're definitely going to want to make some saves in this hellish hole of a place. So we get introduced to a new enemy at the Clockwork Mansion. It's the Clockwork Soldiers, and they're just buckets of fun because, excuse me, because they can see in both directions. They can see in front of them and behind them, which makes them just amazing to try to get around. But we're gonna deal with them as best we can and avoid as many of them as possible. So the first thing that you want to do is come through here, open this door, and make a save. Because this part is a little bit tricky. So you make a save here before you touch anything. And then what you're going to want to do is pull this lever and then head over to the left kind of quickly and jump through these walls as they're turning. And just keep jumping over them until you get to the side here. So you just want to make sure that you're as far left as you can get, and then wait for the wall to come down, jump over it, and get into this area beside the walls. It's a little bit tricky to do. You can get stuck on some of the moving walls and things, so just make sure you make your safety save there so that you can get through the wall without having to keep pulling levers and stuff. And then we come around here, and we're going to watch this fellow who's patrolling around here. And again, make yourself some safety saves. Like, after you do that wall section, make sure you haven't been detected, and make another safety save. Because I've had weird things happen here where this guy, it's like he saw me, but no one saw me, and he pulls up this little insta-death thing. I forget what it's called. It's a pylon, I think. They say, oh, we're going to pull up the pylon. And I'm like, are you kidding me? No one can see me over here. So sometimes it just does weird shit. I don't know why. But then when I reloaded it, everything was fine. So, glitches are frustrating when you're trying to not be detected. So when the guy finally moves over here, you may be able to get around behind him, but for the sake of ease, I'm going to knock him out. And then call this elevator here. This next part can be a little bit tricky too. You'll see I have my sleep darts out because just in case I need to use them. But we're going to go up to the second floor and we're going to shove ourselves into this corner with the body of this guy. And those two people get kind of alerted because they're like, the elevator's here. What the heck? But they don't see you. Again, shove yourself in this corner to like stay hidden from that guy. And then I peeked around a little bit. Sometimes if you get into the wrong spot between the doors there, he can see you. So just be careful with your placement while you're peeking around the elevator. But as soon as he starts to walk away, lay him down. And then you've got one more person to worry about. And sometimes she patrols back and forth, but it was like she was not moving this time. So I kind of waited a little bit to see if she was going to come out to the center there, and she didn't. And so I made a go for it. But just be careful here because she can sometimes patrol a little bit. And then I saw that she was turned around and didn't look like she was moving, so I came and I failed at grabbing her the first time because I wasn't close enough, and then I grabbed her. And laid her down there and looted a couple of things. Be careful not to make too much noise. Don't stand up in here. You don't want to alert that Clockwork Soldier over to your left. There's no real reason for you to pick any of this stuff up. I'm just a compulsive looter. That's all. So we're going to head through these doors and close them back. Or I guess I didn't close them back, but you can close them back. I probably should have closed them back, but I guess I did not need to. And where we're gonna go from here is over to this railing outside, and we're going to do a little bit of jumping. So make a safety save here for sure, just in case you mess up this jump. It's not terribly difficult, but just in case stuff happens. So you want to jump out on the railing and then jump down onto this vent right there, and then go around the edge of the vent to this level right here. And then we are at the elevator. And now, this is probably the most frustrating part of this level. So, you can't go through that door, it's locked. But we are going to go to level 2, the laboratory. And the problem here is that there are 2 of those clockwork soldiers and Jindosh up here. And that's a problem because he's in the middle of both of them and there's just no way of getting around them. So what I first tried to do was alert the soldiers by, the sound of the elevator opening on floor 2. But that didn't really work. They just stayed up there, which was not what I wanted them to do. I wanted them to jump down to the first floor to look for him, or at least one of them. I need at least one of them to jump down to the first floor to look for me. And they didn't. So I had to go back down. Somebody can maybe leave a comment or something whether or not if you kill these things with the stun mines, whether that counts as a kill, or if they're sort of like the blood flies and they don't count. I'm not really 100% sure. But I decided to be safe rather than sorry and didn't worry about trying to destroy them. So I'm trying to jump to make noise. That didn't work. I was thinking I was going to pull that handle to make noise, but I ended up not doing that. I used that to try to make some noise. They are just not having any of it. And so what I did was I went ahead and set up the puzzle down here. I guess it's kind of a puzzle. I went ahead and set this up for the electric chair because that's how we're going to be taking out Jindosh. And so what you need to do is there are 2 of these little consoles and you need to put one of them on the top and one of them on the 4th thing, I believe. And so this one right here, we're going to put on the third one down. Third one down is what you want. And then I ran just in case they were alerted, but they weren't because they're a little bit stupid. I don't know. And again, if you're playing on a higher difficulty, they might be more easily alerted than they were for me on easy. I'm not sure. My thought is that there's really no reason to do it on harder than easy because it's already frustrating enough to get through this thing without using powers. So we've already set up the one console. Now we need to set up the other one. And so we're going to set this one to the top. And again, I hid. I was being very cautious here. This level can be, I don't know, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because sometimes they'll get alerted and sometimes it seems like they don't. A friend of mine said that he just jumped around up underneath them and the sound of his jumping made them jump down, but that never worked for me. So, I don't know. I was hoping that they would be alerted by me moving these things into place. They weren't, but it did put the electric chair into the position where I need it to be, so that's a good thing. And then I just, I clanged my sword against that that little pillar there, and that got their attention. So that was helpful. So that's what I ended up having to do. That was the thing that worked consistently to get them to jump down. And then one of them had jumped down to patrol down there. The other one, I believe, is still up there on the left, but Jindosh is right here in front of me, and I took him out with a sleep dart. So he is out, and you just need to go retrieve him and move quickly because the clockwork soldiers will jump back up here. So you'll see that one of them already jumped back up there. I think both of them jumped down, actually. Both of them jumped down. I took out Jindosh, and then the one had jumped back up when I was taking him to the elevator. So you just want to be careful. I believe the second one may still be patrolling down here. Just be aware. And make some safety saves. Yep, there he is. And you just want to make sure that he's out of the way before you move and take our friend over to the the electric chair to fry his brain. Because that's always nice to do to people, right? We like frying brains. I hear zombies like fried brains. I don't know. I can't confirm that. But it seems like something that they would like, you know? Most everything is better when it's fried. So let's put him in the electric chair. And this has glitched on me too, where I've turned on the electric chair and then he just dies. So I don't know. This game has a couple of like nasty little glitches that for whatever, I don't know why they happen, but this is why you make safety saves. But as soon as you hear him going through his little dialogue stuff about no, don't do that, blah blah blah, and he's talking some gibberish, then you know that it's worked. I hung out here just to make sure that he didn't die, but I don't think you have to. I think you can just continue forward. But now he is eliminated non-violently. Yeah, frying his brain, I think, is kind of violent. But he's taken out non-lethally. That's the word I was searching for. Jeez. And we're going to head down to the bottom floor here. And all we need to do is find Sokolov. And so our waypoint is still telling us to go to Jindosh's desk because that's what tells you where Sokolov is. But we don't need to do that because we already know where Sokolov is. So come down here, make sure that the guard isn't patrolling where she can see you. Take the whale oil out. Be careful here. There she is. She kind of patrols back and forth in this area. So again, make some safety saves just in case she's in a position that's bad for you when you're trying to take her out. And I'm going to quickly show you where a bone charm is because it was right here. Again, guys, I'm sorry I'm not showing you all of the loot, all of the bone charms, all of the runes and stuff. It's not necessary for this playthrough, and so I didn't get all of that stuff. And so I am showing a couple of those things, but not many. And now, this is the next part that will make you want to tear your eyeballs out of your face. So, you have a clockwork soldier in this area, and he is a turd. So, we're going to turn that down, and then he's patrolling back and forth. You see him through the window there. And once he goes through, you need to stand on this thing, and you have to stand on it until all the walls are completely snapped in place, or else they'll go back the way they were. And then I come around here, kind of see where he is. I can just barely see him. And then he's coming through. And so we want him to move back over there to the left so that we can move on this side. And then we need to get those walls down. So you're going to want to step on this plate right here. And then, unfortunately, we're going to have to make some noise. So this is where things get a little bit hairy. This is why you definitely make safety saves. I feel like a broken record, but I really can't say it enough because safety saves will save you a lot of frustration. So you have to break those boards. And then he's going to get alerted and come over to where you were. But as long as you kind of stay hidden around this corner, he shouldn't be able to see you. And you just want to wait until he moves away so that you can stand on the pressure plate. And so he's not in a great position right now. So we have to wait. You could also have, made some noise over here or something and alerted him and had him run back over. You could try doing that if you want to. I liked to make it a little bit safer on myself. So I see that he's moving away, and now I'm going to step on the plate and head in and interact with Sokolov. Painting right there for some extra money. So you have a little conversation with Sokolov that I trimmed out, and then you're going to need to carry him through the rest of this level. So we're going to come over here to the pressure plate that we've already broken and hit it again. And basically we're just doing the same thing that we did to get into this place in reverse. The problem is this jerk that is patrolling around. And so he kind of was starting to see me then, but I got out of dodge. There he is again. That was hairy. Okay, so I ended up alerting him to lure him down to that end because he was just being a bastard. So that lured him away, and I was able to come over and hit this thing. Remember, they can go full white and have that red outline as long as, and then after they do that, once they start to actually see you, it'll fill up with red. You just don't want it to get filled up with red. That is the thing that you don't want to happen. So be aware that you can alert people in order to get them to move where you want them to, which is what I did just then. And then after you get out of there, things are pretty home free at this point because we're just going to backtrack There is one clockwork soldier that can potentially cause you a problem, but he's not too terrible. So we're going to come back through here. The only guard in that area is already knocked out, so we don't have to worry about her. We're going to come back to this elevator and head back to the laboratory. At this point, the clockwork soldiers should both be back up top. And so they shouldn't be on this floor anymore, which is definitely a good thing. So just be careful though, because you never know. Sometimes the AI likes to do random stuff. So just be careful when you're getting out on the laboratory floor, just to make sure that there's nobody still hanging out there. But what we want to do is pull that lever, and then we're going to walk across this bridge. And this takes us on a nice little short, quick, easy path back out to the front doors. We have to unlatch the door and then move over here to the right. There will be one clockwork soldier down below. And this is why we also didn't want to pull those levers too many times, because if you pull them a lot, then there's more than one clockwork soldier around in these areas, and you don't want that. So you want to kind of wait at the top of the stairs until he's looking away from you, and then come and make use of this little column right here to hide behind. When he's looking away, get underneath this display case. It's amazing how both Emily and Sokolov fit underneath this thing, but they do. And then you're going to wait for him to move. I got out a little too quickly, but he didn't see me. He just got suspicious. So now he's patrolling around. You can also shoot a crossbow bolt at the other end of the room and get him to leave you that alone that way. That'll be a little bit cleaner than what I did just then. But you just want to make sure that you get out of that room. So yeah, I definitely recommend using a crossbow bolt, a regular crossbow bolt, to fire at some of the stuff on the other corner of the room across from the display case that you're hidden underneath, and lure the clockwork soldier over to that and then move toward the door. Or you could, alert him like I did, and he'll move around the case and put the case between you and him, and that puts you in a good position as well. So there's a couple of possibilities, but either way, he needs to be away from the door so that you can get through it and get out the exit. And then we're going to take this cart all the way back to the first area, the lower district. And now all of the guards are gone, but we have these 3 amazing witches that we have to deal with in this part. So you can knock them all out if you want to. I didn't mean to toss Sokolov there. I just really wanted to pick up the bone charm, but it tossed him. Sorry, buddy. Be careful of that, because you might toss him in a place you don't want to toss him. So we've got 3 witches out here. One of them is on top of that central guard tower. The other 2 are patrolling around the bottom. You just want to make sure that the 2 patrolling around the bottom are both together, and shoot the environment on the other side so that they will both get alerted and go running toward it. And then you sleep dart the one that is on top of the guard tower, and then quickly make your way to the door and out of the level. So that is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult mission in the game for doing this with no powers and no getting spotted. So be proud of yourself for doing that. Put him in the boat and talk to Megan to end the level. So there you go. That is that level done. When you hit your mission complete screen, just again make sure that you got the check marks for Ghostly and Merciful, which you should have, and you will be set to head into mission 5. Please, please, please make sure that you make safety saves in this level, because it is horrible. Continue to check your stats screen to make sure that you have not gotten any detections or kills that you were not aware of, and good luck, because it's a toughie. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Hope it was helpful.